You have found us, the number one podcast for those who get up and get after it every day, bringing fitness to those around you, sometimes whether you know it or not. In these podcasts, we talk about all the ways we keep people fit, risk fitness, health fitness, wealth fitness, spiritual fitness, every single way of fitness, bringing it full circle. Coming up next.
Welcome to podcast number 22, where we are joined by an amazing panel of mothers that I'm excited to introduce next. But first, I'll introduce myself. I'm Kimberly Aker with the Aker Insurance Group and Country Financial. I am your friendly neighborhood secret agent. Insurance agent. And I'm joined today by my amazing co-host, Brett Clark with BC Fitness, who brings private personalized training to you online, in person, and even in the comfort of your own home. Did I do okay, Brett? I'm sorry.
Hey, very correct. You nailed it. Nailed it. I couldn't have said it better myself. Well, maybe I could have, but you did well.
You could have, but I got there. That's the important part.
Everybody, in today's show, what we're going to do is we are going to warm up and we stretch out. We don't want to go into this thing cold, so we're going to do a segment of warm up and stretch out with our amazing guests. And also, check this out. We found the 12 worst baby shower games of all time. I think they ought all be terrible, but evidently there's 12 ones that are worse than others, and we're going to break those to you. We also have, this is costing American economy $122 billion annually. We'll dive into what that is and what's being done not to help it. And the second official audience poll, Kim, the first audience poll didn't go so good, but we have a second one coming up anyway. And our panel of mothers, how the moms of the world keep the children of the world and the families of the world fit themselves. Super excited. I can't wait to hear about this.
So as we mentioned, we are gathered together today with a very special group of women who are all moms and different journeys of motherhood. And we are excited to introduce ourselves and kind of just get this discussion started. We're going to call this the warm up, which really means that we're just kind of getting the juices flowing and getting comfortable speaking into our podcast. So to start off, I'm just going to ask everyone to introduce yourself, tell us the number of kids that you have and whatever else that we should know about you. And tell me, how are you typically celebrated on Mother's Day? Can we do that? I'll start just to make it less awkward. Again, I'm Kimberly Aker, and I'm an insurance agent here in Kitsap County. I sell insurance in Washington, Idaho, Oregon, and Arizona. I have 2 kids, 7 months and 4 years old. And every Mother's Day, my husband likes to buy me some flowers that I can garden outside with. I kill the flowers every year because I'm really terrible at that, but that's our tradition. So every Mother's Day, that's how I'm celebrated. So how about you guys?
I am a mom of 3, a grandma of 6 soon, 5 now, 6 in a month. I have always been a caretaker, whether seniors or childcare in my home. That's what I do now. I take care of kids and I take care of old people. And one of my very favorite roles, besides being a grandma, is being a mentor mom. Someone who can speak into young moms' lives. And mostly because I was not brave enough when I had little ones, I wasn't brave enough to reach out. So it's really, really important on my heart to be there for those moms and cheer them on every time they reach out and say, hey, help me, pray for me, I need something. So that's my main job. Celebrate on Mother's Day. It's completely different now than it used to be. Now my daughter and my daughters-in-law, and my son, oftentimes they come in and they usually make this fancy meal in our house, and oftentimes give me lots of different flowers, and it's just fun. The grandkids usually draw pictures.
Love it. Pretty wonderful. Thank you, Kathy. Awesome.
So I'm Janessa. I have 2 boys. One is 13, one is 11. Currently, I'm the secret agent, secret assistant to Kimberly Aker. for about a year and a half now.
Yeah.
Before that, I was a stay-at-home mom for 11 years. And then before that, I was a recreation therapist in pediatric facilities from the time I graduated until I had my first son. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome. And how are you celebrating on Mother's Day?
Well, funny, every 6 years, my birthday falls on Mother's Day. And
Wow.
for the first 40 years of my life, 30 years of my life, actually, I hated that. I didn't want to ever share. And now it's like, that's extra special.
That's really
So,
special. I
yeah.
love that. Thank you.
And from your husband's perspective, that's like a 2-for-1, right? Can he just get away with one, or does he have to have two?
I'm telling you, when he tries that 2-for-1 thing, I'm like, are you serious?
Good for you.
Okay. I'm Megan Folk. I have 3 kids. They range in age from 23, 12-year-old, and a 9-year-old. My youngest is my only son. It never fails. Every year, my husband is deployed on Mother's Day. So as far as celebrating, we usually, well, this is the first couple of years we've actually lived in town or in state with family. So since we've been here, we celebrate by going to family's house and just doing, some kind of dinner or something there. But typically Mother's Day is not that Mother's Day is not a big deal, but it hasn't been a big deal in our house just because there's not really anybody here except whatever my kids bring home from school, which of course I love. So that's it.
Nice.
Awesome. Thank you.
Love it.
I am Jamie Warner. I'm Kim's sister. I am a principal at an elementary school in Fall City, Washington. I've been in this career, either a teacher or a principal now for 18 years. I have 2 daughters and they are students here, which I'm not certain that they're so stoked about that anymore. They were when I first took this job a year ago, but I have a 3rd grader, Kennedy, and I have a 1st grader. Around our house, we come together, my mother-in-law, my sister, my mom, we all do a big dinner on Saturday and kind of let the dads do the cooking and hang out in the backyard, which this year it seems like it's going to be 90 degrees. So that'll be super fun. Yeah. And then actual Mother's Day, the only thing I care about is I'm not cooking and I don't want to do anything but just chill. So we typically just do something, sit by the river. It sounds like it might be a river day this year out in the city. So yeah.
Perfect.
Very nice.
All right, Des. Certainly. Last but not least, my friend.
Well, it's great. Thanks, Kim. Hi, everyone. My name is Desiree. I have 3 children. They are ages 22, 25, and I also have a 2-year-old. So recently started all over again. Who thought that was a good idea? I'm not sure. But here we are.
It's important you space them out. So that's good. Good.
Yeah, that's really spaced out. So I also have 1 grandchild who is a year old. So a lot of family functions happening right now, which is great. And then for work, I actually work in the tech space and work for a Canadian-based company. I do travel for work and have traveled for about the past 12 years. Ultimately, I've been very career focused and career driven, which, I guess being a mom also has its challenges. It has its rewards and its challenges, but without a great support system, I don't think I'd be able to accomplish all that I have. So I have really good people in my life that have been able to support and allow me to do those things. And then for Mother's Day, we generally get together as a family. We love doing family gatherings and cooking food and enjoying, especially when the weather's nice here in Washington. It's always great when the sun is out. So spend a lot of family time. It varies every year. So we go to sisters. Sometimes it's mother-in-law, but yeah, just getting together and enjoying each other and celebrating each other.
Fun. I'm going to pivot a little bit on my next question because I was going to save this question for our panel later, but I know a few of you will have to jump off before we get to that piece of this podcast. So I'm going to throw a fun question at you guys that I really am excited to hear your answers on, because I think it's going to be just really in tune with what this podcast was created for, and in line with motherhood. So my question that I want us to talk about next is, in what ways do you help keep your family fit? And as I say that, you might think of all the physical fitness things, but there's also, emotional fitness, mental fitness, a slew of different ways that we, as moms, day in and day out, whether it's grocery shopping or, cooking the dinner, doing the laundry, bathing the children, praying for them, like whatever that looks like to keep a safe and healthy home. In what ways each week are you, working to keep your family fit? And that's kind of what I want to open up our conversation on right now for a moment. I mean, don't jump in too fast, you guys.
I can start us off. I don't know if I'm going to say the right thing, but I have to run out to a recess issue at 10:30, so I'll be back. But I'm going to play both. I feel like it's exhausting to be a mom. You have to wear all the hats at all the times and do all the things. And it's also super rewarding because little eyes are always watching. So, there's so many different things that I feel like we do, right? Like planning meals for the week that are healthy and grocery shopping and taking time to really sit down and cook dinner and eat as a family at night and have those moments of just like talking about the day and kind of processing what's going on. And every morning when the girls and I kind of an odd dynamic now, my girls come with me in the morning, they eat their breakfast in my office, they go play with the other, never without them really. And so we have kind of our ritual of waking up and, when we go out to the car, we do our prayer before we go for the day. So we pray and then we set up our intentions for the day. And then we come here and do school. And then we go home and do family dinner. And usually there's some sort of like walk or workout routine of some sort. My girls have watched in the last couple of years. I wake up every day at 5 and work out in the morning because it's just my stress release. And now my little people come home and they turn on, the exercise video or whatever it is that I was doing in the morning. And I find my weights all over the workout room because they're in there doing their thing. And it's super cute. And we talk a lot about just being strong and not ever anything about body image, always just being strong, healthy women. Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of things we do, but those are just some things that pop up in my mind.
I love that. That's fantastic. Just that download that you get. I talk to moms about that. Just the download that they get on just self-care and taking care of yourself, and just integrating that at such a young age is so powerful. Thank you for sharing that. You're going to be a spokesman for me. We need a spokesperson. Sorry, you're going to be a spokesperson for me for that, because that was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Go do your recess thing. You got a recess issue. Go deal with it.
Yeah, I also like setting the intention for the day. I don't think that I'm doing that with my son, who's, now that he's 4, he probably could, start to adopt a healthy plan like that with me. So maybe something he could digest and understand at some capacity, how he wants to handle his day, and a goal to set for the day.
Man, to have your mom as a principal of the school you go to. Though. Wow. I'd say the same thing if she was here, though. But that's okay. The principal's gone. We can do whatever we want. Let's go. Let's fire it up.
I guess to dovetail on just kind of what Jamie was saying, it does feel like we do it all. And, even after a long day of work, it's, get in the kitchen, get dinner fixed for the family. I'm very adamant about us sitting down at the table every night to a homemade meal. That's something that's really important to me. It's really important to the family. That's the time that we probably spend the most together because we're disconnected from everything else around us. We're taking the time to look at each other, talk to each other. We pray, before dinner. And I think it just helps set the tone when it comes to coming together, focusing on each other, no distractions. It also, I think, brings routine, and a lot of what we do sometimes isn't necessarily routine. Yes, getting up and going to work and those sorts of things, but it's a good feeling, I guess. It's a routine that has a good feeling to it. And then something else that really helps keep us balanced is, you know, we also raise our own pork and beef, and we also have chickens. So as a part of that, there comes a lot of responsibility, and it, you know, we all have to share in that responsibility. And so our little girl who's 2 is already learning what that responsibility is like. And she's starting to get more and more excited about participating in, you know, in that actual activity of going out and having to do something and care for an animal. And so seeing her light up and get so excited about it actually gets me more excited about having to do those chores. So it's really motivating. I love doing that with her. Sometimes it's just her and I, because daddy maybe is working. And so it's really nice to have that bonding time and to do things together. But ultimately, I would say that, you know, I feel a lot of the stress and the pressure, not just with work, but even in the home life, where it's like, how do I balance my day so that I have time to decompress and process everything that's been going on? And, you know, of course, ensuring my family stays healthy and is well taken care of, that always comes first. So yeah, you know, that's always something I'm wondering, how can I do that better? And we can add more hours to the day because it's simply not an option, but
yeah, right. If only we could.
Yeah.
I love that. You're tech meets farmer. You're an off-grid tech person. That's awesome.
Yes.
I didn't even think about it, but there's some similarities going on here with you know, the life of Megan and Kathy too, on the farm side of it. So when you said that, I was like, there's so many women on this call that could resonate with you on a lot of this.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. It's funny because that's, for us, it's my kids almost don't have a choice but to be as fit as they can be. You know, we have horses and chickens and a pig and dogs and a vegetable garden. Well, that's new. I think you saw that on my page. We're trying to get a vegetable garden, a big one, going this year. Maybe took a bigger bite than we can actually handle as far as that goes. We'll see. But it's really important to us what goes into our bodies. And so, you know, the raising chickens on our property that we can eat, well, that they can eat, I'm a vegetarian, and the vegetables here, and also just not having to go out and spend the money that, you know, at the grocery store, that it's just insane, especially when you don't really know what you're getting, at least in my opinion. So that's a huge thing for us. And we like to cook. Everyone in our family likes to cook. So we like to cook together. I try to do that more. My son is getting more involved in that. He's not as, you know, he'd really rather do other things, but we're trying. But another thing too, in a different aspect, is something that when you ask the question, the first thing I thought of is not a physical fit thing, but a mental health thing, is talking. I think trying to have the conversations with my kids every day, more just, you know, how was school, but like really getting into the deeper things every single day so that they know that they can always talk to me. I think that's a huge thing, as far as just being, you know, fit all over. Sorry, I have a cat who came to visit.
We are a pet-friendly environment here. We're good.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of
Yeah, whether you take care of your pets, whether you eat your pets. I mean, obviously, some of you are eating your pets. Yeah, we're a pet-friendly environment.
eating all.
That's awesome. No, it's so good. I like the communication part too, the talking. You know, I'm starting to realize that, you know, we talk around children so much, and we're not always talking to them. And it happens, you know, it happens by accident sometimes, where you're just moving fast and it's quicker to say it than to stop and let them speak. But there's so much power in helping them come into this, you know, the realization that they've got things to say and you know, ways to get them out, you know. So that's powerful.
Yeah, it makes middle school a little easier. Little easier.
Middle school is rough. Kids are mean. I am not looking forward to that.
Don't love middle school.
Oh.
Keep those conversations going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big part of ours. I worked from home, so we always had the opportunity to homeschool. For us, it was the best choice because we anticipated our eldest spending more time in the principal's office than in the classroom. So it was better to have him at home. And he's just busy. It wasn't a naughty thing. It's just a constant going, and he's a distraction. So it's okay. And we embraced that fully. And so we didn't have to work hard at fitness because, there was always work to be done around the house. There was always, wood to be chopped. There was always gardens to be weeded, certain chores we paid for, certain chores we just did them together. We had a family policy that if one person is working, everybody is working. So we didn't, unless somebody was sick or had a big project or, assignment or something like that. In general, we all worked together, and really struggled when somebody came over and was like, oh, no, I'm going to sit down for a while. And we're all like, we don't know how to do this because we all work together. We do the same thing in the kitchen. We do the same thing outside. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where we are. It's like we're all participating, and that keeps those conversations going.
That's good.
But each morning before school, the first thing we did was read, pray, and talk together.
Wow.
And I think that set our children are 29, almost 32, and 33. And our grandchildren are from 8 to due in a few weeks. So I see that in their families, how they love to communicate with them. And they're just starting to really work with their children, and they're seeing the benefits of that. And I think that is so critical, whether it's on the farm or just in the house or whatever has to be done. I think doing it together just creates, they're invested in our home. They're invested in our family. It's part of who they are. It's not something that somebody else does for them. I had a daycare in my home, and when kids were about a year and a half, you know what? They could put the napkins in the garbage, and a 2-year-old loves to help. Just like you were saying, a 2-year-old just gets so much pleasure. I participated. I gave value to my family. And to just build on that constantly and give them chores and responsibilities that are rewarding, that are things they enjoy, and make them recognize that they are an important part of this family unit. Sometimes I did great, and sometimes I put chores ahead of listening and felt the failure there.
Oh, I feel that. I feel the burn of that one. I live that a little bit right now, where you feel like, I've got to clean the kitchen. I've just got to do this. I've just got to finish. Like right now, I started some spring cleaning around my house. It is a disaster. An absolute
disaster. Of course it is.
Right now.
It's always dirtier before it's done.
There was no time to finish it. And so, at some point I had to just stop doing that because there was a little boy that was being ignored when mom was doing this and doing that. And, to all of your points, he had things to say and he wanted to play with mom. And, it was our Sunday together. And so there was not to just be doing housework.
Yeah, I think it comes down to balance too, right? Because there are things that we have to get done naturally. And sometimes that will be at the very same time that our little ones are awake and active and playing. But I've found that sometimes it's good to allow them to find some independence and be able to entertain themselves with something. Because if they
absolutely.
Yeah, because if they become overly dependent on your stimulation in order to drive happiness, then it's like, I don't know. I think it would be harder for them to find that on their own. What I've tried to do, to your point, Kathy, which is so valid, you know, I will sometimes get very caught up in all these things that I have to do. And it's like, oh no, okay, well, mommy's got to do this right now. I started bringing her into the mix of things that I'm doing in a way that I'm kind of teaching her those foundational things that you had mentioned, right? Like upkeep and you know, value the things that you have. And she actually has enjoyed it, or I'll, you know, put her in their high chair while I'm doing something. So at least she's up to my level and we're engaging at that same moment. So she doesn't feel that I'm completely ignoring her or whatnot. But it is such a balance, and it is challenge. I am challenged with that every day.
I was a RA in college, and I can't even tell you how many freshmen came in completely unknowing how to take care of themselves. So from that, I always said if I ever had children, they were going to know when they went to wherever, you know, whether they go to the military, college, you know, start their vocational, whatever, they're going to know how to take care of themselves. And so ever since my boys have been little, they've been helping me with laundry and cleaning. They have a chore list every day. They have chores. You know, we don't have a farm or anything like that, you know, but, you know, helping me out a lot, you know, just because I just want them to have that sense of independence. And when they have a partner, to be an equal partner where, you know, they can take over the laundry, they can take over doing the dishes, they can spot a mess and say, I need to clean this bathroom, you know? So that's something that I'm really struggling with, especially as they're getting into these preteen years where they're just like, I'm too cool to clean the bathroom. You know? And I go in there and I'm like, are you guys kidding with this? Like, because I don't go into their bathroom very often. I'm like, this is not okay. Like,
Don't.
This is a hazard.
I have twin teenage boys. Don't go in the bathroom. It's bad.
It's a struggle. I mean, at least I've got them going into, you know, using the toilet appropriately now, you know.
Ish. Yeah.
Ish. Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's 99% better than it ever has been at this point, but still. Woo.
Oh, boy.
Love it. Good job. Nice job. Wow, that was fantastic. You know, and hey, I appreciate, you know, everyone the fitness. You know, the fitness related. Megan, I think you said it, is that, you know, it's not all about physical fitness. It's about physical fitness. It's about emotional fitness. It's about health fitness. It's about all those other aspects of keeping someone fit. Not necessarily just on the physical side, but how do you do it emotionally? How do you do it mentally? You know, those types of things. So truly fantastic. Truly fantastic.
Now that we're warmed up, Brett, I think it's time that we jump into our not so important topics of the day.
Because those are important. It's important that we talk about not so important stuff, for sure. Yeah.
We went deep for a second there, so let's dial it back and go into something that's not so deep, right?
Yeah. So not so important topics. I actually went over this list. You sent me this list last night.
Yeah.
It was hard to read. But the not so important topic is the worst baby shower games. And from a male's perspective, I'm not sure that there's anything worse than a baby shower. But evidently there's some baby shower games as well. But if you're planning your friend's next shower, here are some 12 that you probably shouldn't do.
Yeah.
Well, this is great because in about 45 minutes, I've got 2 people coming over to plan a baby shower. So
these will be these are
avoid.
Truly awful. These are truly awful. These will be great.
I will not do these.
Make sure that if someone asks to do one of these games as part of the baby shower, you just put your X up and nope. These are the top 12 worst ideas for a baby shower.
So I'm glad that you're going to break these down, because I couldn't even describe them, all of them, but break these down, because I need to know more about some of these poop practical games that are being played. So
the first one is truly baby shower strippers, right? This is crazy. This has actually been a thing. In fact, if the Real Housewives of Atlanta, Candy had a stripper at her baby shower. So, I mean, bonus points if you dress as a baby as the stripper. But that is a terrible idea for a baby shower, and it has happened. So make sure that your shower that you throw does not have a stripper as part
You know,
of
I think probably that might actually make a baby shower better if I'm thinking. I mean, just thinking about it in general.
No, you're
Yeah,
wrong.
this is why Brett's not invited to baby showers.
So I mean, of course, you know, for the small fee, I can come, but
No. Nope.
Are you going to be the stripper, Brett? Are you volunteering yourself? I digress.
No,
We're going
no.
down a roll.
yeah,
Your
this is a
wife,
bad. This is
Chelsea,
a bad.
would be
Yeah,
very-
I would. I don't have a baby outfit, so I'm
Chelsea
gonna have to
would be
pass on that one.
mortified to hear that. So let's cut that out. Let's cut that out of the podcast.
Hey, not everything makes the podcast. Some of this stuff gets cut out.
Oh man. Number 2, blindfolded baby food relay. Think about that. So you're gonna blindfold yourself, and you're going to pass around, you know, a jar of food for each person. And I don't know, do they like eat it? Do they just like smell it, taste it? They have
Like
to
a guess,
what it
the
is?
flavor. Is it like strained peas or something? Because like I can like get behind the apricot one, but I don't know about the strained peas one.
I don't know. I'm not too in it, but it says the first team to finish a jar of baby food wins. So I think they're taking
Yeah.
bites and like going back and forth. Which is
Passing
just
it
not-
around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and after COVID, we don't need to share
That
spoons.
sounds like a
do
good way
we?
to get COVID.
But I'm
Yeah.
just saying, let's
Or a
not do
stomach
that.
virus.
Those
It's
squeeze
like the
ones
it's
now.
like the Amazing Race meets Fear Factor. It's amazing.
Oh.
All right.
Especially one of the meat ones.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
Oh,
Okay, you guys. Number 3, chew gum into the shape of a baby. Ugh. So you chew the gum and then you take it out like Play-Doh,
Oh, nah.
right? And then you make it into a baby, and whoever has the best baby wins.
Why don't you
I
just use
gag.
Play-Doh?
Yeah,
I
why-
gagged when I walked by the gum wall in Seattle. There's no way I could hack this one. Yeah,
I
there's
gotta
no way.
say, Yeah, this is why it's on the list of the top 12 worst ideas for a baby shower game. Number 4, don't say baby. So this is that, you know, this one, I don't know if I completely agree that it's the worst. I would just say that, you know, you can't say, you know, baby, but there's always that one gal who takes the game way too seriously and spends the entire shower with her ear cocked to every single conversation, making sure that nobody says the word baby, because there's clothespins, right? You take a clothespin and you hang it on everyone. And so you get to steal clothespins from people who accidentally say baby the whole time.
Yeah, you're like Jenny. It's just a game. Let it go. Come on.
Like, no.
Yeah.
Take
it easy, yeah.
Minutes ago. Let
Yeah,
it
yeah,
go.
exactly. People have gone home, Jenny. We're good.
She's doing it like a week later, and she sees you out at the grocery store. Like, oh, you said baby. Give me your clothespin. Give it to me. Okay, number 5. Eat poop out of a diaper. I have played this one before.
Yeah.
It's not cool, man. So you basically take different types of candy and you melt them into a diaper. And then you have to like pretend that that's poop. And you have to eat
Nope.
it. No.
Yeah, that stripper's looking like a better idea.
Yeah. I won't go through all 12, but I will say that number 7 was make a baby's face that only a serial killer could love. And this is like you basically take cut up pieces of mom and dad's face and you Mod Podge a picture of the baby, trying to guess what it'll look like. And so there's no way of getting out of this game without making it look really creepy. So
There must be an app for that, right? And you know, I am not a social media icon by any means, but like, can you like TikTok? You could probably like TikTok that or something, right? That, huh?
I would rather do that than do this.
Not TikTok. What's it? Snapchat. That's what it is. Snapchat.
You're such an old man. You don't even know. You're not even on social media, are you?
I don't even know. I pay somebody to manage my social media. We're good.
Number 9 was pin the sperm on the uterus. That's happened. So there's actually a big diagram of a pink uterus, you know, on a big poster, and y'all take the sperm and don't play that game. And then
Okay.
let's see here. Reenact your baby's conception.
That one was creepy. That one was creepy. They even had photos to show how that's done. That was creepy.
Yeah, you take a plunger, a toilet paper roll. It's just, you don't want to do that one. And then the last one was wear a dirty diaper around your neck. And that's
didn't understand that one.
Yeah.
What's the dirty diaper thing? I'm not, is that like a staple of baby showers? Because believe it or not, ladies, I have not gone to any baby showers, and that's going to come as a huge surprise. But it seems like that poo theme might be a staple, and I don't know why.
The question of it is what's in your poop necklace? If it happens to be a brown M&M symbolizing poop in your diaper, then you are a lucky duck who is about to get a prize. So I don't really know. I don't fully understand it, but if you get the M&M, I guess you win.
I remember playing a version of that. It was a piece of flannel. They folded up and pinned it on you. And one person had the candy inside and got the prize.
Okay, yeah. So those are
they were terrible.
Those are the games. Yeah, you want to avoid those games at all costs. If you're playing a shower, people are not going to love it. So
done.
There's got to be a better way. Kathy, we would hope that this would serve as some kind of a deterrent to
yes.
any of the party planning you might be having 38 minutes from now.
Yep.
So Brett, let's dive into the next one. This is kind of an important topic that I would really love to get everyone's take on.
Absolutely.
The economy part of it.
Yeah, as I teased that in the beginning of the show, the important topic that we have is can you guess what is costing our American economy $122 billion?
The answer is childcare.
Oh.
$122 billion industry of childcare. And so this is obviously near and dear to my heart right now, and probably many of you at some point in this journey or even right now. And a couple different takes on this. I mean, there's so much political question marks surrounding the situation, which I don't normally even get into, and I'm not really going to even do that today. But I am a little miffed because apparently in 2021 there was some talk about a proposed bill or an act that was going to create a plan or framework for a plan to make affordable childcare from birth to age 5, namely for 3 and 4-year-olds, which I'm really living right now. And it's painful to me how expensive childcare is. And so that obviously hasn't happened. That bill got modified and changed a few different times. And it was a kind of a catch-all bill that included many things like infrastructure and Medicare and healthcare, but it also included this childcare piece of it, making affordable childcare. But now, if you look at it, I think that bill has just kind of been minimized down to infrastructure and maybe healthcare, Medicare, but which is still very important topics. But what are we going to do? Is there a solution that we can have for more affordable childcare?
I mean, I have older kids, and this summer, if I were to enroll them in every single camp that, so that they're not home alone while I'm working, or even if I'm home and I have to work, they're still, they're going to want to just play electronics, but even the cost of camps, and then not even the time frame of camps. Like there's an art camp. That's awesome. It's from 9 to 12. Well, how am I going to plan my day around that? And then on top of it, it's a couple $100 for 1 week from 9 to 12. And it's just like, I would love for you to have this experience. I would love for you to be out of the house, learning something new, engaged in something new. But holy cow, this is a car payment a month just for you guys to be in camps that aren't even from 9 to 5. Yeah. But I feel your side too. I mean, you got the little ones where, you can't just sit them down in front of the TV all day and just have the mom guilt that they just watch TV all day. It's not possible.
I have a completely different view of this than probably all of you because
absolutely, because you're a childcare lady. Yeah.
Yeah. for 15 years as a licensed childcare, and then 15 years as just a private nanny in my home. And I'll tell you what, for those 15 years, I felt like I was being beat up. The requirements from the state to keep that license were growing exponentially year by year. And the things that they required demanded multiple hours per day for me to take care of that. And when I finally gave up my license, it's like, you know what? I want to care for children. I do not want to, and you know, my days were 12 to 15 hours when you go both ends of the scale for parents that are working. And I don't want to spend 3 or 4 more hours doing paperwork for the state. And it really came down to the state is definitely against home childcare. And I understand that there are risks involved in that when there are those few, you know, childcare scenarios that are not good. So it is important that there is some oversight. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But for the ones that are good, they're still trying to make sure that they cannot be licensed. Specifically in Pierce County, it is really hard to financially be able to afford to do childcare. It gave me just enough so that I could stay home with my children and teach them and do childcare. That's how much I made. I think there were, in that 15 years, I think maybe 3 years I made more than I wrote off. The rest, I mean, it's not a moneymaker. The ones that make money are the ones that have the big centers. I guess it's the same thing as small business versus big business.
Well, yeah. Well, I think the money though, that 122 billion is what, you know, we're spending as mothers on childcare just for our children.
And most of that is bigger centers. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Well, and they charge a lot more.
Yes and no. I mean, the nannies that I've had, you know, they want to be paid in cash because, you know, they don't want to write it off potentially, or, you know, for whatever the reasons are. And similarly, you know, the ones that have tried to explore running an in-home daycare, like to your point, it was extremely difficult to maneuver and keep up with the regulations to do so. So that piece of it, like, still, it's nearly equivalent to what I'm paying the big childcare centers, just for less hours, right? And so they're making the money either way. We're spending the money. I mean, last year alone, I spent $15,000 just on Johnny's childcare. And then this year, I'm poised to do $30,000 because now I have 2 children and I work full time, so I need to have, right? So hours, and so that's $30,000 a year just on the childcare piece. And I only have 2 kids. Imagine if you have 3 or 4.
I'm in a slightly different position because I've been at home with my kids since they were born. But now, and my husband is still active duty. So, I mean, there's no way we could have done it where I was working full. I mean, I know other parents do, and I get it, but with all the things that we have also, because the animals and everything like that are so expensive also, I don't know how we could have done it without me staying home. But on the flip side, now my 2 that are at home are 12 and 9, and I just graduated from school, and I want to at some point in the near future go back to work. But like I said, my husband's still active duty, so now I'm in a situation where it's that work-life balance for me. And yes, I know it's going to be expensive, but I also don't want to just go back to work like, see you later, you know, it's been fun for the last 12 years. You know, figure it out. I don't know. I mean, and mine technically are old enough that they could stay home, but also, do I want to leave them home all day, every day for the whole summer when they're not in school? I don't know. And then what's the point of me going back to work if I'm going to be paying everything I'm making to childcare? It's kind of a, what do we do?
I can totally relate with you, because when I interviewed with Kim, it was just 10 hours a week. And my first initial reaction when she told me I got the job was panic, was
Yep.
can I spare 10 hours a week? Can I do this? Like, am I gonna be able to keep up with my housework and everything else? Because my husband worked very long hours, so I didn't have that part, I don't have a backup. And so it was like, can I do 10 hours? Like, I was absolutely freaking out at first, and then I got into 10 hours, and then we did 15, and then we got up to 30. So like, I don't know. I think my situation is just unique because Kim is also a mom, and she also understands that, your kids get sick, your kids have a mental health day, you have a mental health day. I have a benefit that's so invaluable, but I can totally relate to you, Megan. Like I don't know what I'm doing this summer with the boys right now, so yeah, I feel you.
I think I've come to the conclusion that I literally will have to work from home at least 85% of the time. There's just, if I have to go in once a week or twice a week, even for a few hours, that's fine. But I just can't. And I think that's the one thing that COVID brought us that I'm actually happy about is so many more companies and so many more people are willing to let people do that. And honestly, why not? I really don't. There's so many jobs that can be done from home. There's so really no point in going in. And I think that would be that's when you first talked about the 122 billion or whatever you said it was. If they just would continue to expand our ability to stay home and do our jobs, not that that's completely the answer, because like you said, the camps, we have to be able to, bring kids to camps or bring them here and there. But in a lot of respects, I think that can be worked around if you're able to work your own schedule from home. Not everybody wants to do that. I get that. But I think a lot of people would be okay with it because it's kind of the best of both worlds, in my opinion.
Oh yeah, less overhead cost. I mean, if I didn't have to have an office space and that we could just work from home and not have that monthly rent, that'd be huge.
Right.
As a saver. How we doing, Brett?
I'm still here.
Brett, did you click on the 5 creative childcare solutions that we found?
I have it. I have them right here. I have it. We had Kelly Holmes, not a podcast guest. We're gonna try to get her on a podcast at some point though with our people skills. Well, she's a certified parent and educator, and she's also the author of Happy You, Happy Family, and so she created 5 childcare solutions that you will love because it's Happy You, Happy Family. So
that's why you love it, right?
That's why you're gonna love it, yeah. Or else you didn't read the book. You didn't.
Well, what I appreciate about her ideas is she's trying to put together, unique, creative solutions for those that it's like not cookie cutter. It's not just, we can't all afford $30,000 a year of childcare, right? And so, in this way, she's just giving us some alternatives to consider if it works for you, because different things work for different families, right?
Yeah, and there were some great ideas. I thought there were some terrific ideas.
Yeah, so the first one I really liked was keep it in the family. And so this one was splitting up the days with your relatives. So whether that means like that maybe if you have a scenario where the mom or wife spouse in the situation could stay home, Monday, Tuesday, and then the dad could stay home, Thursday, Friday, and then maybe a grandma can stay home and work from home or come, in there on a Wednesday. And so you have, you split it up with just family watching the kids, and maybe, the parents work a day in the weekend, or, that's not going to work for everyone, but that's for those that can work from home, like splitting up those days, or maybe just take the days off if you can. The other idea that I've learned about recently, I've heard it a few times. In fact, a gal left my official childcare where my son goes, and she said, I'm joining a co-op. And I didn't know what that meant. But what it means is it's a point system instead of cash. So basically, like a barter, you find a similar household that has the similar values as you or whatnot, and you don't mind sharing the kids with, and basically maybe you watch them one week and then they watch them another week, or maybe parts of the week, and instead of paying cash, you guys just split up that time with each other. And that way, they're in the same situation needing childcare. And so if you guys have the flexibility to do that, then it's like a co-op system. It's so smart.
Definitely clever. Yeah.
Yeah. The other idea, which I totally tried, and Janessa can attest to the fact that this did not work well for me, except for unless she watched her the whole time, was bring the baby to work. So like, if you have the means to do it, bring your baby to work, which works if they're a newborn. That does not work if they are a 2.5-year-old or a 3-year-old.
No, because there's child labor laws in there, Kim. There's child labor laws. They can't answer phones.
Oh. Bullet point number 4 was get a nanny with baggage. So what they meant by that is AKA someone that has their own kids. So it's not really baggage. Like, it's not called children baggage, but that's how she phrased it. Get a nanny that's got her own baggage. So
get one that's emotionally unstable. That's what I hear in there.
Right? She's got daddy issues. Get that nanny. No. Like if she's got her own kids, right? And so she's in the same situation where she's like, I'm already watching my baby or my 2-year-old. And so, she might be able to offer a lower cost to you to throw your kid in the mix as well. Because she's already there doing that. That was the point of that one, I think. Although I don't know if I would agree. I think that you still end up paying nearly full price for that, just because they're still watching your child. Right?
Not only that, but can I just there's in military communities there's that a lot where you get, especially like in military housing, where you get so and so is staying home and I can take in 14 kids or whatever, and then you get these houses full of kids where you have nobody in there who has any kind of certification or anything, and they're making money, but the kids aren't really being properly watched. In fact, just last year there was a child that died because nobody was paying attention. Too many kids and too many, it's just not. I don't know. I think that's like a breeding ground for that situation. If you start, I've got a kid, I can take 10 more in here,
Right. Yeah. Well, and that brings up another good point, is it's like you have to do your due diligence. Again, it's without saying, but I think moms get desperate sometimes when we're looking for affordable childcare or looking for a situation that works. And right. So, you're almost really, if they look good enough, or they seem clean enough, or their kids seem normal, then you're like, oh, here, take my child. But, do your homework, do a background check, go through care.com or, and actually do a background check. Make sure somebody is, has references, that they're going to actually be watching your child and not just letting them sit in their car seat all day long. Yeah. Oh man, I love this topic. The last one on the 5 creative childcare solutions it's called Share the Love. Share the Love, which means that mom works for, maybe in this scenario, the creative solution, the mom and dad or both spouses can work from home. And so maybe mom works from like 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. and dad's just on childcare. And then, mom takes off that work hat and dad puts it on, and he goes to, the office in the home and works from 1 to 7. And so you're splitting up the day, but while you both can work from home. And I think that my neighbors do this because they've got twins, and they both work from home for different companies. And so I'll hear them talk about a little bit about their day, and I think they must do something similar to this, where if one's in a meeting, the other's on, and vice versa. They can kind of make shift and make it work, and that would be a cool scenario if somebody has the ability to do that. So this brings us to our new listener poll question. Brett, we get to ask a question now.
It does. It does. And probably I want to lay that out. We're we lay these poll questions out as an expectation that people will take these polls. So and so anyway, we have the second poll question of our podcast. The first one, we'll go over that in a second, but this particular one is: do you pay more for your housing or your childcare in a given month? And so what we do is always, meaning the second time, we will put that poll into Spotify. We'll put that into the various podcast stations that you listen to, and just go through and click on that poll. Just let us know. It'll be one or the other. And what that does is that enters you to win a Fitness Full Circle t-shirt, the official t-shirt of the Fitness Full Circle. We have one, and you need to have it. So
it's nice.
So that's how you get that. But what we want to do, I think what we do here, Kim, I think that we ask, we ask them. We revisit podcast number 1's question for sure, which was, I don't know if you guys are familiar with ChatGPT. It's a new AI system that's out there that's actually really magnificent. You obviously haven't listened to our last podcast, or you know about it, but
that's okay.
That's okay. But anyway, so we wanted to know if you have used ChatGPT and if you consider ChatGPT cheating. And what we did in last podcast poll, is we had a bunch of people plead the fifth, Kim. There's not a single person that wanted to step up and incriminate themselves. So we had nobody answer our poll, but it was only because they were afraid to incriminate themselves for cheating.
I think, yeah, right. No one wants to admit that it's not cheating. No, I think that we should put it on Facebook this time. I think that Facebook's a good poll platform. People, we can share it easily there and get people's responses.
Go ahead and answer both of those. So for our listenership, we're going to put that on Facebook. Kim's going to do that because I have no reference to social media at all. And Kim's going to post those on there. Excuse me. And we want to know, is ChatGPT cheating? And the answer to that is no. And also, do you pay more for housing or for childcare in your particular household? That's an interesting piece. And then what we're going to do is we're going to talk about that on the next episode as well.
I want to ask you before we finish today, how are you prepared to celebrate Chelsea, your wonderful, amazing wife, on Mother's Day this year?
I would prepare very similar, like I've prepared in the prior years, which is to cover the boys up to make sure that they aren't exposed for the mom frauds that they actually are. We're going to start the process shortly. I'm going to ask the kids if they know when Mother's Day is. And I already know what the answer to that is. They won't know. And then I'll ask them also what they've gotten their mother, what they're thinking about getting their mother for Mother's Day, which they won't do or have known at all. And so then from there, does that sound pretty familiar, Megan?
Yep.
And then what I will do is I'll let them stress it out until about Friday, and at the last hour they will finally come to me and they'll be like, hey Dad, we should get something for Mom for Mother's Day. And then I'll be like, guys, I already got you covered. I already got it all figured out. But that's typically what it is. Very, very similarly, Chelsea's a flower lady. I love to give flowers even when it's not special occasions, but obviously for special occasions.
That's more special, by the way. When you give a flower and it's not a reason or an occasion, that's more special.
And I always like to look at the person at the grocery store wherever you buy your flowers at when they're like, dude did something wrong for sure. It's not Mother's Day. It's not Mother's Day. It's not Valentine's. This dude's in trouble. But it's still funny. Yeah, and we'll make her dinner and things of that nature. But yeah, she's a great mom and she deserves every not only that day but every day to be celebrated for what a terrific mom she is.
There you go. There you go. Well, I just want to thank everyone again today for joining us and just covering some important topics surrounding motherhood. And I really wanted to put together a podcast that highlighted some of the important work that we can't possibly highlight all of the important work that we do, because as mothers we're doing so much all the time, and so much of it goes unappreciated, unnoticed, unsaid, right? But I just wanted to put, give us a stage to talk about these things and just highlight the ways that we are very central in the tone of our home. I wanted to put this together to recognize the importance of what we do. And my challenge to all of you is not just to be celebrated on Mother's Day, but find something the week of Mother's Day, or this week I should say, for you guys to just have whatever it is that you need. If that's a mental break, afternoon by yourself, an evening away, or maybe it is just to have your family sat around a table together talking. Whatever it is that you need this week, and just to feel appreciated, or to find, I don't know, some self-care. It's important that we do that this week.
Well, what a tremendous episode. I want to thank not only the guests that are still here, but the guests that had to take off. You guys are busy moms. All of us are busy people. You guys are busy moms, though. But really, thank you to all of you that participated today, and really thank you to all the moms. It was just amazing insight that we saw today, and just really appreciative of each of them sharing their stories. They're sharing their stories of triumph, but also sharing their stories where they haven't been so successful at. So really, really powerful stuff, and I want to thank everybody. Right now, we're taking nominations for a local hero here in Kitsap County that you admire. That's right. Whether that hero is a first responder, a teacher, military, a fitness professional, or an insurance agent, but please nominate them on our Facebook page. We're committed to being active on our Facebook page. So big things are happening on our Facebook page. I can make those claims because I don't manage that at all. But it's going to be amazing, and you're going to want to check that out. But go to Fitness Full Circle on the Facebook page. Chime in about the poll questions that we had about ChatGPT. Chime in about the amount that you spend for childcare. And dang it, tell me who you think's awesome, because we're going to work on that. And reminder, do the poll. That's the reminder. Do the poll. And if you do the poll, answer this. We're going to put you in a drawing for that Fitness Full Circle t-shirt. Everybody wants these things. It's the nice t-shirt. You want that? Get on it. We have people walking around the community wearing these things right now. Everyone's asking, where did you get these? And you can only get them one of two ways. You can be a guest of our podcast, or you can win it in our poll question. So other than that, happy Mother's Day, everybody. Happy Mother's Day, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us today. So appreciated. And we'll see everybody next time.
Well done, sir. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.